Hello everybody, it's Ken Faulkner. Got another knife video for you. Coming up on, you know what it is, Christmas time. As Santa and his little helper helped me out for the video. Got a Kizer. And yeah, I just bought it. It's on sale though. Christmas sales. It's so hard to resist buying knives during all the Christmas sales. This Kizer was not a lot marked off, maybe about 10 bucks, something like that. But I've been wanting this one for a long time. This packaging is kind of different than what I'm used to. It's kind of flat. And yeah, I mean, this is, I don't know, I haven't bought a Kizer in a while, I guess, so maybe this is just something they're doing. I think there's a card in here or something. So this is basic stuff. Advertisements. Anyhow, so it's less than $100, so a pretty good deal, and it was on sale. That's the important thing. Saving money. A plastic bag comes in, and yes, if you know, you know, it's the Momo. There it is, the Momo. You know how sometimes you have this song stuck in your head, and you go through the day, and it just keeps on playing. You might just sing like a little part of it in your head. This Mobo has been like that song stuck in my head because I've been wanting this one. I know I looked for it after it had come out because it just, for me, it just seemed very much right up my alley. And it was sold out pretty quick from what I saw. And maybe I didn't do enough searching. But anyway, coming to Christmas time, it was back on sale. And yeah, I had to get it. Boy, I'm super glad too. Like I said, it's been a while since I picked up a Kizer. Some of those brands, the VVs and Kizers and things like that, haven't been as exciting for me lately. I guess I'm getting spoiled maybe. Got the cloth. I don't know, but this one is super cool for me. It's not, I'm sure it's not for everybody. Got action for sharing. Got some beers there. Got, well, I should probably get it up to the camera so you can see it a little better. Action for sharing. I think that's, looks like some beer mugs. And we got action for dreams. And he's got his knife there. Getting crazy, the koala. And we got the bag with the little screws, which is always nice to have. The tough part is finding them when you need them. So, especially if I don't keep the box. And this box maybe isn't quite so exciting. So, it may go away. So I have to find some way to store this stuff so I know where these screws are for. It's a big knife, the Momo. I know they're coming out with a smaller version of it, but I'm not interested. I want the big one. But I think a lot of people are going to like the smaller version because this is kind of a beast. It's really, for me, got a very Japanese kind of flair to it. And it is just very sleek looking. I do like knives that have that arc, even though it's very subtle on this one. There's an arc that just kind of flows all the way across that line. It's got lines on it. It's very nice. Deep belly. You know, the tip is kind of high on this one. I don't think this is not the one you're going to go to. I mean, it's got a great tip. I mean, I don't know how strong it is, but it is, you know, it's definitely fine tip. So if you need to do something that's not needing a lot of strength, that tip is definitely going to work. But then it's got this, it almost looks like almost like a kitchen knife in a way. But it's 154 cm. You know, Kizer's famous for. Do a lot of stuff in that steel, and it's a great steel. Aluminum handles. I don't know if the clip, I doubt the clip is aluminum. I think it is a titanium handle, or clip, because it has no magnetism to it. You get magnetism here, normally aluminum. You know, aluminum's not something that's magnetized, but that shows that the liner's inside here, And I'll show you those. The liners inside here are steel. Get my flashlight working. And they got some holes in those steel liners. So I hope you can see that. Oh, okay. And but it is a big knife and a fairly big blade. So you know the weight on is we'll see. I'm gonna get the scale out. So it's over 9 inches, almost 9. It's like a 9 3/8, 9 1/4, 9 3/8, 9 5/16. I don't know, somewhere around there. The blade itself is a little over 4 inches, so about 4 1/16. And the cutting edge is, you know, you got this length of the curve, so that in that arc, you're probably talking like well over 4 inches for that length of the edge. But it's just got a cool look, and it also has that kind of that flipper tab that kind of reminds me of a friction folder. A lot of friction folders have that kind of thing, maybe with a tab on it or something like that. But because of that, and because it's got some jimping on there, which is pretty aggressive here, you can work it pretty well. I've really gotten used to front flipping, so I do it pretty well. I can usually do the index as well. Over the top, getting better at it, but yeah, this one's a little hard. Probably that length that it sticks out makes it a little harder. Somebody who's really good at it might be able to do it. Aluminum scales, I think I mentioned that. But it's got like this different bolster, so it's kind of cool that it gives you a little subtle difference between the bolster. The clip works well. Titanium milled. I'm almost positive it's titanium. Backspacer, probably aluminum. Not sure. I don't know if the magnet will tell. You know, because you got the steel of the blade in there. Yeah, it feels like that's magnetic, so that may be steel. Whereas this one, I do get some, but like I say, it's with those liners right there, like the blade, it definitely has a lot of magnetism there, and then you can feel when you get to the liners way more. Here it's pretty light, and here it may be a little stronger, so maybe that's a steel backspacer. It doesn't matter that much to me. I don't know, maybe somebody's real particular about that kind of thing. It's got a cool look, feels good in the hand. It's kind of that you know, it's not trying to tell you where to hold on to it. It's definitely a long handle. But with a long knife like this, you're going to have a long handle on a folder. But it feels really good. You can get choked up to here if you want, but this position right here feels really good. Now, it does have that jimping on that front flipper, but you hardly feel it here because it kind of sinks in in between the scales. So, but still, I mean, I don't feel the need for it. It really feels good and comfortable in my hand. And I've been cutting, obviously it's Christmas time, and we got a lot of boxes, lots of Amazon packages and things like that. So I've been cutting up some cardboard, and it did the job. It was awesome. I got some knives for size comparisons because it is such a big knife. So I went for big knives. This is going to be a little crazy because, you know, it's a Frenzy. Obviously, the Frenzy is going to dwarf it. But just the fact that it can kind of stand up next to the Frenzy is telling that it is a big knife. I got a 4MAX Scout, and surprisingly, it's pretty close. The handle on the 4MAX, with the blade to handle ratio on the 4MAX is pretty off, probably because the pivot's so far back, and then this part comes out so much further than the tip of the blade. But if you look at blade to blade, the Momo looks like it's actually got a little bit on the 4MAX Scout, which is pretty crazy. Now, obviously, the handle's way bigger on the 4MAX Scout. But, hey, that's pretty cool. I do like, this one does really maximize its handle to knife ratio. The handle, I said that this was like little over 4, but the handle is just a little over 5, 5 1/4. So it's got a good ratio. Your pivot's pretty close to the edge here. When you close it, the tip is really close to, I mean, not dangerously close, but pretty close to the end of the handle. So it's got a really nice ratio on that. I think that's really good. Also got another Kizer. Had this one for quite a while. Sheepdog. Now, obviously, Sheepdog's going to have a lot of height on this one, although this is not it is a tall blade. Let's measure that up. But you can see it side, on top here. It's about close to the same blade length, but not as much height on it. But it does have about 1.25 inches, maybe 1 and 5/16 again. At 5/16 at the thickest part, and obviously it thins down. That's got that taper. It's got a distal taper too on the blade, so it tapers as it goes out. It's interesting that it's a full flat, except it's got this. This is like a swedge up here. So it is. I think it has a really cool artistic look about it. I don't remember seeing other knives like that, to have that swedge up here near the top, and it almost looks like it should be a full flat, but then they and you can see it kind of thins out a little bit right there. So I don't know if it has any other benefit, maybe a little bit of weight reduction, but other than looking cool. But yeah, it's actually, the handle is maybe longer, and the blade may be a tiny little bit longer than this is the Sheepdog XL. So it's a big blade. This is a big blade. Very cool. And then, of course, we'll get out the tried and true, the classic, just so bees will be happy. You don't have to report me to them. Got the penguin, and there you go. Big difference. So I don't even really consider. I consider this as like an EDC size, but I don't consider EDC size being full size. I consider this one to be probably a little larger than a normal full size. Certainly a little bit larger than that. Very cool. Let's get the scale out, see how much it weighs, because it's aluminum handle, so you would think that's going to make it lighter, and I'm sure it does. Obviously, aluminum is lighter than titanium, say. Maybe not as light as some other materials, but it still feels like a good weight to it. So it's 4 inches, about 4 inches long, and it's about 5.2 ounces. Not too bad. It's a little high on that inch to ounce ratio thing, but yeah, it's a great knife. Only one way to open it, but that's okay. I just really like that whole look, the way that that front flipper looks like that. Very Japanese style, which I like. I guess the one thing that is a little bit bothersome is getting access to the liner lock. Doesn't have a lot of room there. Doesn't bug me that much, but it's something to consider if that's a thing for you. Anyway, guys, that's the Momo. I finally got one. Super happy. Hope you guys are having a great Christmas, and hope you get lots of great knives. I probably will only get knives that I buy for myself, but clearly I buy enough for myself, so don't worry about me. I'll be fine. All right, guys, so you have a good one, and I will see you on the next one.